What happens when America's sweetheart sits down for a morning chat that takes a sharp turn into chaos? Grab your coffee, because this live TV showdown will make you question everything you thought you knew about celebrity interviews. It starts. Out picture perfect. The Today with Jenna and Friends show hums along with its usual warmth. Carrie Underwood steps onto the set in a cream-colored blazer, blonde waves catching the studio lights. The audience buzzes, phones raised, ready to capture every second. Across from her, Jenna Hager beams that signature morning show smile. Carrie, it's so wonderful to have you back, Jenna says brightly. Your fans are dying to hear about the new album and the big tour. Carrie settles gracefully into her chair, legs crossed, that megawatt smile flashing. Oh, Jenna, thank you for having me. I always love being here with you and your wonderful audience. The conversation flows smooth line singles, family life, tour dates. Carrie hits every note flawlessly, the audience laughing, applauding, eating it all up. Everything feels safe, scripted, until it dots down single. Tone shifting. Carrie, I have to ask. There have been some serious allegations online about your foundation, specifically about where those donations are going. The smile on Carrie's face doesn't falter, but her jaw tightens, just slightly. I'm sorry, what allegations exactly? Jenna pulls out her phone, scrolling. The move feels jarringly unprofessional. There's an investigative report claiming less than 30% of donations actually reach recipients. The rest spent on administrative costs and, let's just say, some pretty luxurious office spaces. The temperature in the studio drops. Off camera, Carrie's publicist waves frantically at the producers. This was not in the prep notes. Jenna, Carrie says evenly, though her voice carries a sharp edge now. My foundation has always been transparent. We release full financial reports every year. But Jenna doesn't back off. She presses harder, her tone firm. Actually, I have those reports here, and according to these numbers, your foundation spent more on office furniture than on direct aid. How do you explain a $20,000 conference table when you're supposed to be helping children? The audience shifts uncomfortably. Easy morning show vibe has evaporated. Some viewers still record on their phones. Others glance around like they've wandered into the wrong program. Carrie inhales slowly, fighting to keep her composure. I'm shocked you'd ambush me with accusations like this on live television without giving me or my team the chance to prepare a proper response. This isn't journalism, Jenna. This is a hit job. Just asking questions your fans deserve answers too. Jenna shoots back, her tone edged with something almost smug. You've built your image on being wholesome and charitable. Don't donors deserve to know where their money is going? That's when Carrie's polished exterior finally cracks. Her southern accent thickens, the way it always does when her emotions boil to the surface. My supporters are some of the most generous, kind-hearted people in this world, and I resent the implication that I would ever exploit their trust. Behind the cameras, chaos. Producers muttering, crew exchanging wide-eyed glances. This is live television at its most volatile. But Jenna keeps pressing. I'm not implying anything, Carrie. I'm stating facts. Your foundation took in over $2 million last year. And, according to these very public documents, only $600,000 actually went to charity. The tension is unbearable. The audience barely breathes. The woman known for her grace and poise is backed into a corner on live TV with millions watching. Carrie shoots to her feet, her chair scraping against the studio floor with a jarring screech that makes the audience flinch. You know what? Jenna, I came here to talk about my music, to share my tour, my songs, some joy. I did not come here to be ambushed with half-baked accusations. The studio goes silent. No laughter, No murmurs, just the low hum of lights and cameras. Every eye is locked on Carrie, who now towers over Jenna. Jenna blinks up at her, rattled. "Carrie, please you sit down. Let's talk about this calmly." Carrie shakes her head, blonde waves swaying. "No, we're done here." "But we still have 15 minutes left in the segment," Jenna blurts, her voice betraying a crack. She glances nervously toward the cameras. Carrie begins unclipping her microphone, movements sharp, deliberate. "Then you'd better find something else to fill the time. Because I will not sit here while you try to destroy my reputation with cherry-picked data and sensational headlines." The tension in the room thickens, pressing down on everyone present. Her security shifts. Closer, ready to move. On the sidelines, producers exchange panicked looks. Jenna makes a last-ditch attempt. "Carrie, these reports are wrong. This is your chance to clear the record. Millions of your fans are watching." Carrie pauses, eyes flicking to the camera lens. Her voice drops, steady and cutting. "My fans know me. They know my heart. They know I give everything I can to help others. I don't need to defend my integrity to someone more interested in stirring drama than telling the truth." She turns back to Jenna, her gaze ice cold. "But apparently some people would rather tear down than build up. That says everything about their character and nothing about mine." Gasps ripple through the audience. Jenna's face flushes red. For the first time, she looks out of her depth. "Carrie, you're overreacting. I'm simply doing my job as a journalist." Carrie lets out a laugh, sharp, humorless. Your job? Your job is supposed to be informing people, not ambushing guests with gossip dressed up as hard news. "Tell me, Jenna, did the Today Show become TMZ?" The audience audibly reacts. Front row fans stare open-mouthed, stunned that America's sweetheart just threw such a dagger on live TV. "I understand you're upset," Jenna stammers, struggling to regain control. "But these questions are legitimate. The public has a right." "No," Carrie snaps, finally yanking her microphone free and tossing it onto the coffee table with a loud thud. "The public has a right to facts, not cherry-picked numbers twisted to create a scandal." A producer with a headset edges into the camera frame, voice trembling. "Ladies, perhaps we should take a quick commercial break." Carrie whirls on her. "No, I will not sit quietly while you figure out how to spin this. I'm leaving. Right now." Jenna shoots to her feet too, desperation creeping in. "Carrie, wait. Let's talk this through off camera. Maybe this is a misunderstanding." "Oh, there's a misunderstanding." Carrie fires back, snatching her purse from beside the chair. "The misunderstanding is that I thought I was walking into a show that respected its guests and valued integrity. The cameras are still rolling, no cutaway, no commercial. Millions are watching live as the disaster unfolds." From the other end of the couch, Jenna's cohastulant until now, looking like she wants to vanish into the set, finally speaks. "Carrie, I think what Jenna meant is transparency is important for public figures." Carrie whirls on her, voice sharp enough to slice glass. "Transparency? You want to talk about transparency? Fine. Let's talk about how this show blindsided me with unverified accusations. Let's talk about how you call yourselves journalists while you peddle gossip." She glares between them. "Where's your transparency in that?" The room holds its breath. Carrie Underwood, usually the picture of composure, has just detonated live morning television. There's no walking it back. The co-host instantly regrets speaking and sinks back into her chair, cheeks burning. Jenna leans forward, voice sharp but trembling. "Carrie, I've been doing this for 15 years. I know how to research a story." Carrie's eyebrows shoot up. 15 years. "And in all that time, did you ever learn the difference between investigative journalism and a witch hunt?" that accusations require evidence, not just suspicion. The studio is silent. The audience watches like it's a championship match, heads swiveling between the two women. Phones are still recording, but some have been lowered, their owners. Too stunned to even think about posting, Carrie moves toward the exit. But Jenna blurts after her, "So you're just going to run away instead of addressing the concerns?" That stops Carrie cold. She pivots back slowly, her expression so cutting it could break glass. "Run away." Her voice sharpens. "Lady, I've spent the last 20 years building a career on honesty, hard work, and service. I've donated millions of my own money to charity. I've spent countless hours in hospitals, schools, community centers. I've used my platform to raise awareness and funding for causes I believe in. And I have never not once taken a single penny meant for charity, for personal gain. The fact that you'd suggest otherwise without proof says everything about you and nothing about me." Jenna opens her mouth, but Carrie raises a hand to silence her. "I'm not finished." Her voice grows stronger, resonating through the studio. "You want to talk about administrative costs? Fine. Every legitimate charity has them. It takes money to run an organization, to hire qualified staff, to maintain offices, to process donations, to ensure funds reach the people who need them. My foundation employs 12 people full-time. Good people who left higher-paying jobs because they believe in our mission. They work 60-hour weeks to maximize every dollar's impact. That conference table you mocked, donated by a furniture company. We use it to make million-dollar grant decisions." Jenna tries to interject, but Carrie barrels forward, her momentum unstoppable. "You want to know where the money goes? Last year we built 3 schools in rural Tennessee. We gave scholarships to over 200 students. We funded music programs districts were about to cut. We donated instruments to schools that couldn't afford them." A low murmur rises. From the audience, heads are nodding. The tide in the room is shifting. "But you didn't mention that, did you, Jenna?" Carrie's words drip with contempt. "You didn't talk about the children getting an education because of us, or the kids discovering a love of music. You focused on furniture and percentages." Jenna flushes deep red. Donors still deserve to know where their money goes. "You're absolutely right," Carrie says, surprising everyone with a sudden calm in her tone. "They do. That's why we publish annual reports. That's why we undergo third-party audits. That's why we maintain an A rating with watchdog organizations." She pulls out her phone and scrolls quickly. "Would you like me to show your viewers?" Here, she holds the phone up to the camera. Our Charity Navigator profile. A plus in accountability, transparency, financial health. Every category. But I guess that doesn't make for good television, does it, Jenna? The audience erupts in murmurs. Even crew members are exchanging looks. Jenna looks deflated, but clings to her script. Even with good ratings, the questions are still valid. The questions would be valid if they were asked in good faith. Carrie shoots back, lowering her phone. Her voice drops to a deadly calm. But this wasn't about truth. This was about creating a moment. This was about going viral. The words hang heavy in the air. Jenna's eyes flick nervously to the cameras, then back to Carrie. Everyone in the studio can see it. The hit landed. "I don't know what you're implying," Jenna says weakly. "I'm not implying anything." Carrie leans forward, steel in her voice. "I'm stating facts." Carrie tilts her head, her voice calm but lethal. "Your show's been struggling in the ratings, hasn't? Its morning television is cutthroat. And sometimes producers get desperate for content, desperate enough to stage a spectacle just to get people talking." The co-host looks ready to crawl under the desk. The audience, spellbound, leans forward as if they're witnessing a master class in how to dismantle a hostile interview. Carrie steps closer, her voice dropping to a whisper the microphones catch perfectly. You thought you could take down America's sweetheart with some half-baked conspiracy about charity fraud. You thought I'd just sit here and smile, because that's what good girls are supposed to do, right? Jenna doesn't answer. But her silence screams louder than words. Carrie straightens, her tone rising with conviction. Here's the truth, Jenna. I didn't get here by being a pushover. I got here by working harder than anyone else in the room, by being honest with my fans, and by never compromising my values. Ever. She starts toward the exit, her words carrying as she moves. And my values tell me I don't have to sit here and be disrespected by someone who clearly did zero real research before trying to torch my reputation on live television. The cameras track her, panic flickering across the production team's faces. They know they're losing their biggest guest of the month and there's no stopping it. Carrie pauses at the edge of the set. You know what the real tragedy is? There are actual charity scams out there. Organizations that prey on people's generosity. But instead of investigating those, you chose to come after me, the crime of being visible, successful, and a woman who doesn't apologize for either. Jenna grasps for footing. Carrie, if I got something wrong, I'm willing to issue a correction. Carrie lets out a sharp laugh, more cutting than kind. A correction? After you spent 10 minutes trying to burn down my character on live TV? That's like setting a house on fire and then offering to call the fire department. The audience bursts into laughter, applause rippling through the studio. The tide has turned completely. Carrie turns to the cameras now, bypassing Jenna altogether. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to walk out of this studio and keep doing what I've always done. I'll keep making music that brings joy. I'll keep supporting causes that matter. I'll keep being transparent about every dollar I raise. And you, she fixes her gaze on Jenna. You'll have to live with the fact that you tried to tear down someone who's spent her career building others up. The room is so silent you can hear the hum of the lights. Even the crew has frozen. Carrie adjusts her purse strap, smoothing her blazer. To everyone in this audience who came here expecting music and laughter, I'm sorry this ambush ruined your morning. You deserve better. She turns toward the exit, but glances back once more. And to my fans watching, please know your trust means everything to me. Everything I do with you in mind. Your support has allowed me to change lives, and I will never, ever take that responsibility lightly. Carrie, please don't leave like this, Jenna blurts. Desperation creeping in. Carrie looks at her with something that almost resembles pity. Jenna, I'm leaving exactly like this because this is who I am. I don't claim to be perfect. But I don't pretend to be something I'm not. When someone attacks me with lies, I fight back. When someone uses me for cheap entertainment, at the expense of my integrity, I walk away. And when someone shows me who they really are, she pauses. I believe them. With that, she strides out, disappearing behind the cameras. Jenna is left alone at the desk, shell-shocked. The audience doesn't know whether to clap, cheer, or sit frozen in disbelief. Finally, the co-host breaks the silence with a shaky whisper. Well, that was unexpected. Jenna scrambles for composure. We'll be right back after this commercial break. But the damage is written all over her face. She knows her career might never recover. She just got dismantled, live by one of the biggest stars in country music, and every second was caught on camera. The producer frantically signals to cut to commercial. As the screen fades, voices echo across the set. What just happened? What the hell was that? And that, my friends, is how you handle a hostile interview. That's how you stand your ground when someone tries to tear you down for their own gain. Carrie didn't just walk off that show. She walked off with her dignity intact, leaving Jenna exposed for exactly what she was, a desperate host willing to trade someone else's reputation for a few ratings points.